What is going on, YouTube? It is Primitive here, and today I'm going to be bringing you a video that I got multiple requests for, which was what do I think about the current format and the game after I left for a year. And so I thought I would do it in a tier list, and it's going to be a different tier list than the type of tier list I used to make, because I used to play for like so many hours with theory with the team, would talk to other content creators, other top players, and then I would make a tier list, whether that was a speculative one that was before format or deeper into the format. Regardless, I try to be very educational about it and give stuff. For this one, I've been gone for a year, so there's a pretty good chance I'm going to put a really good deck really low and a really bad deck really high, and people are going to be upset about it, and that's how it's going to have to be. So we're doing a BT15 tier list, post-ban list. Let's get it. Alright, first up is Crossheart. I actually think Crossheart was not terrible. I played against it a couple times. It was pretty much the same deck that I played against when I stopped playing. There was like a couple other cards, but for the most part, I think it's okay. I don't know if I'd like, since we're starting off, it's kind of hard to like put stuff in here, so I kind of like maybe maybe low tier 2. We'll go there, maybe tier 3. I'm not sure. I didn't think it was crazy. Like, Crossheart was good before, but I don't know how it's going to really last in the current meta, and from the deck list that I saw, it was pretty much the same deck. Alright, next up, Jessmon. I'm going to put into tier 3 because I have seen nobody play it, but I don't think it's trash because it's Jessmon, so you're just going to play a bunch of Sistermon, go wide, and do checks and restand, and the Savior's unbanned and stuff, so it's probably alright. Blue Flare I think is better than Crossheart. I was a big Blue Flare hater back before like BT11 or whatever, and then it kind of got good. I saw a couple Blue Flare being played currently, and then like at Nats and stuff, and I think Blue Flare is not too bad. I don't think I'd put it tier 1 though. I don't think it was too crazy. Bloom Lord is a deck I'm gonna probably overestimate, because I still think Bloom Lord is really good. Quartzmon is really good. You got Quantummon now, which is really good. The new Palmon X. You got Hydramon, Bloom Lord. All those cards are pretty good. I don't know how many. There's so many decks on this list. I don't know how many decks I want to put in tier 1. So it's like it's like low tier 1, top of tier 2. I might go low tier 1 just because like I think it's pretty good. I'm probably overestimating it in a metagame scheme, but I think it's just such a solid deck and has been, and it just got like some decent tools in BT15, so I think it's not too bad. Dark Nightmon I'm just gonna put in trash because I haven't seen anybody play it, and I don't think it was that good back when it was supposed to be good. So I'm just going to put it in trash, but I love Dark Nightmon. It's just not that good of a deck. Black or Greymon is still really strong. I'm going to put that tier 2. Probably not tier 1. Like, Bloom I think is way better of a deck, but I was playing it on the simulator. I played it a couple times in real life. I still think it's very strong. The like restand, trash, Galmon, and you can pop Tamers, and you can redirect. There's so many things that you can do that it's just a very versatile deck. Galamon's Galamon, I'm just gonna be honest, I don't even know what Galamon does right now, but I haven't really heard anybody talking about it, so I'm just gonna put it there. But I respect Galamon. It's gonna clear all my checks without checking my security probably, but regardless, I think it's pretty good. And then there's like that Rush Gallantmon, and that card's pretty good. I would also probably put Ulforce somewhere. I've seen more Ulforce, and I think like just the ability to like play so many Tamers, evade, unsuspend a bunch of times, bounce, gain memory, it's pretty good. Or it can be really good if it gets rolling, but I also feel like the hands can be really bricky because you just play so many Tamers that sometimes you just Tamer spam and don't really build up the stack as much. I can't tell what this is. I think it's like Machine Dramon. I have no idea what Machine Dramon does right now, but just knowing Machine Dramon cards, it's probably somewhere around here. The Arrestor Dramon, I don't really know what deck this is supposed to represent, so that's gonna go there. Beelsmon, I don't think is that good, but I don't think it's trash. I think it's really fast and can go really crazy, and there was a point where it was super insane, but I don't think it's that. It's not trash though. No, it's not trash. I'm gonna assume this is Bagra Army. I think that's what that is. I'm gonna put it it topped. It's not terrible. I don't know. It topped. It'll go above these. It topped. It's alright. Royal Knights is also a deck that I might overestimate because I think this deck is crazy. When I played against it, they kept spamming Magnamons, like Rush Gallantmon, super cheap, right away. I think it's really crazy, but I didn't really play when this deck is around, and nobody in my local area plays this, and I haven't played it online. Well, I played it like a couple times online, actually, sorry. I haven't played it locally, but I think it's crazy in what it does. I think it has the potential to be really good. It's probably not tier 2, but I think it's just such a crazy deck that I'm gonna run with it because just playing all these things for super cheap and then like spamming Gallantmon was pretty effective. Shine Greymon. Shine Greymon, I think Shine's good. Shine's just that deck where it's like, I feel like it can brick really hard, but when it works, it just cooks, and it just does so well. And I feel like there's a few different ways I've seen it built, and all of them have been relatively decent, from my opinion. I don't know how it's doing in the current metagame, but from my experience so far, I think Shine's not too bad. The Mirage Galgamon, I think I would have put in tier 1, but since we're post-ban list, no jamming, it's still got to be decent. It's still got to be decent. It's somewhere in here. Tier 2 is going to be a mess in order-wise. I have no idea which ones I think is better, but I think Mirage probably just stays at tier 2. I'm going to put Alphamon at high tier 2 because my boy Antics, the Alpha Tamer, be playing Alphamon, and he says it's good, and I trust him because he's really good. So, not 100% sure what this Alphamon that the picture does, but I'm going to respect my boy Antics. Shout out to the Alpha Tamer. Belphamon I never thought was that good. I don't really have an explanation for it. I never thought it was good, and every time I played it, I just won without them really doing too much. Ravemon, I want to put this in. I don't know what this, like I know what the Ravemon deck is, but I don't know what it does. So I don't want to, like, rank that when I've never seen it played or played against. I know what some of the cards do, don't know how it plays, and don't know how it matches up, so I don't really want to rank that one. Picture of an Agumon, I don't know what that's supposed to mean, and same with a picture of Zudomon. I don't know what either of those are supposed to mean. Seraphimon, I don't know what this deck is supposed to be, but I could imagine I don't think it's security control, because Chaos Degrade is on here. So, I'm just going to put it's like an angel deck, maybe. I'm going to put it in trash. D-Brigade, I'm putting it tier 1. That might be an overestimate, but I think D-Brigade is really good right now. Just got new Digipolice, whatever. Digipolice just got new stuff. I think it's pretty good. Might not be tier 1, but I've been playing it. It seems pretty consistent into a lot of matchups, and you have the ability to kind of like Rookie Rush, go wide. You can build up stacks and go wide. Like you can go tall, fast, wide, whatever you want. You got different modes. I think the deck's really versatile. I've been staring at this picture for like 2 minutes, and I cannot figure out what Digimon this is, unfortunately. And Phoenixmon, is this like a bird deck? I'm gonna put it in trash because I've seen this Phoenixmon played. I don't know what deck it necessarily is, but the Phoenixmon's not too good. Hercule Kabuterimon, I'm assuming this is going in with like the new Hercule Kabuterimon card. I don't think it's trash, but it's not good. Like I think it's playable for sure. Like I think you could do better than whatever these decks are, but I don't think you're doing anything crazy. Rosemon for sure is a decent deck. I am not experienced it enough though to really give it like a super good ranking as far as like my knowledge base. I've seen it played a couple times. I think the burst mode is pretty good. I don't know if it's I don't know. I might be underestimating this one. I might put it like here. It's somewhere in these like top 3 of tier 2. I think I'd put it. I think it's decent, but from what I saw, it was not crazy. Like I'm not bringing it to a tournament. The new BT15 Ryudomon stuff, pretty good. I don't really know what I would call this deck. I think it's got really good cards though. I think the Ryutamon kind of just crazy. I think this is better than this, but I don't know if I want to. Maybe I put it tier 2. I need more experience with this deck. I played against this card twice, so I'll just put it there for now, but I could see it going up here. Metal Garurumon post-ban list without the X Gabu and the X Garuru. I still think it's pretty good, to be honest. Is it tier 1? Like, I would play Melga before I'd play Black War in a tournament. I think it's good. I think it got hit. With the package, it would have been really good. The new Melga's good, and you got all the new support from, like, 14. You got the new Gabumon and stuff. Those things are really nice, but I don't know if it's that crazy, like a tier 1 thing, but I think Melga's just that, he's just that guy. It's good, does what it does. You bounce stuff, you swing, you unsuspend, you have sec +1, you got blocker, you got all kinds of like memory gain and all the good blue cards. I think Melga's just that deck where if it keeps getting support, it's always going to be good. Millith gotta be like tier 2 somewhere. That deck's pretty good. I like Millith more than all of these. I think it's decent. Okay, Beelstarmon post-ban list from the Beelstar God himself. The deck that I've been playing the most when I've been coming back. And yes, post-ban list, it gets hit by the Gabu engine, but it is still top tier 2 for sure. A lot of these decks, like I guess Black War Greymon, but like a lot of these decks on this list that we've already got through get hurt by Beelstar really hard without the Gabu. If you just take the fact that you have Gazi Psychmon for Floodgates, and you got good rookies with Gabu, you got Scatter Mode, Promote, you got all the 7 costs, like, there's so many decks where if they just swing into security, you just pop their stack, and then you just start trashing, play Beelstar for like 3 to Nailbone past turn, and then you're just going wide. You have all this removal. They could hit 3 security cards in a row. Like, Beelstar is still very much got to be one of the better decks right now, and that might be a hot take, but just give me like a month. I'll show you. Red Hybrid. Red Hybrid. It's just good. Maybe not. Yeah, no, I put it at tier 1. It's just that it's Red Hybrid. It does the same thing. You're doing a bunch of damage. You're going really quick. It's just one of those decks where you got the answer or you don't. Like you just win or lose. This deck's always going to be a threat to like pretty much everything, just because it can swing so many checks and just go crazy with hybrids and stuff and go into Emperor. Blue Hybrid, we got Tommy's back. I haven't seen anybody actually play Blue Hybrid, like a full Blue Hybrid, so just to respect Tommy, I'll put it in tier 2. Yellow Hybrid's gotta be trash, I would imagine. I don't even know what that means without you having multiple Jet Sylphies. Like, with Rapidmon Jet Sylphie back in the day, that was like the deck. I don't know what Yellow Hybrid's doing right now. I feel like it's probably like some sort of Shine Greymon knockoff deck or something. I don't really have too high hopes for this. Leomon, I'm just going to assume, is like the Indomitable heavy Leomon stuff. That deck is sick. I like this deck. Indomitable, I think that's keyword it's called. If I'm saying it wrong, I've been saying it wrong this whole time, my bad. I think it's a really cool effect. I think the deck is pretty decent. I think like the Digivolve and then Digivolve into hand effects, like, I think there's a lot of stuff going on. Jerry to play out the blocker Leomon is cool. Heavy Leomon can definitely be an issue, being able to like restand and just keep going, and if it dies, it just comes back. I think it's a real deck. I think it's pretty decent. In my experience, it's definitely not tier 1. I think there's way too many decks that can just like cook it, but it is still a very strong deck, and so I think it's like definitely up here in the tier 2 age. Dorbikmon is my boy, but he's trash, but he's better than all this. He's trash, but he's that premium grade A trash. Examon's another deck where it's like literally the exact same thing that it was when I stopped playing the game, and I don't even think it was that good when it first came out. I think it's a deck where it was like, I just hope like that you don't have a way to out this. It's still like alright though. It's gotta be just like still okay. Like it's probably near Jesmon. It feels like a Jesmon level type deck. I don't think it's a deck that's going to go crazy. I think we're definitely going to get more support, I think. That could definitely bump it up. But, like, right now, if you're bringing Examon, like, the deck's, like, a year old, and it's pretty much the exact same thing. Everybody knows what's going on, and if they can out it, then you just have to build up the whole stack. And it does have inconsistencies where it's like, if you only see the blue side, then what are you going to do? Oh, you only saw the green side. Like, good luck. That is a problem with it. Next, we got Kazuhamon, which is, like, the Sakuyamon stuff. It's another, like, premium grade trash for sure. Like, I don't think this is good. I'd be down to be proven wrong, because I think the Sakuyamon stuff was always something that was, like, a really cool idea that never really came to fruition. And, when I came back, I actually played it a few times at local. It didn't really get too much better, so I think it's trash, but I think it's cool trash. Okay, Black Mega Gargomon. I just read this card for the first time. We're gonna put it in trash and call it good. Okay, when it comes to the Alter S, I don't really know what that means as a deck. When I see an Omnimon, I think of, like, the Omnimon Turbo deck with, like, the Dark Masters. And I don't see... How is there not, like, even a Apocalypse on this? With, I guess it's post-ban list, but I'll count this as, like, the Dark Masters thing. I think it's cool. Turbo Omnimon. It's pretty good. Well, it's pretty cool. I'll say it's pretty cool. Alright, I had to adjust the tier list because it's taking up too much space. I couldn't see the cards anymore. The Leopardmon X Antibody... I don't know what we're doing with this, to be honest. I don't know what would even make this card good, so we're gonna put it in trash, but at least I understand this deck a little bit more than what's going on down here. Okay, Shin Manzemon Numamon stuff, like, I don't think the deck's good yet, and Shin Manzemon has, like, a really cool effect, but I don't think this is a deck yet. I don't know. I haven't played against it, but I know Numamon gets good, so I'll give it a little bit of respect. But yeah, Shin Manzemon. Okay, here's Heavy Leomon. So we're just gonna swap this. Heavy Leomon. I don't know what this is supposed to represent then. Okay, Anubismon is kind of a hard one for me to place because it was tier 1 where I would put it. Post ban list. I have no idea where I'd put it. I have no idea how good it is. I don't know if this deck completely dies or if it's still viable. So, like, this is just like a bottom tier 2, and this is like, this deck could be really good and it could be really bad. And so I'm just going to kind of put it in the middle. Alright, Grace Novamon, I think, is like viable trash. Like, I don't want to put it in trash, but I haven't seen this deck win in person yet. I think it has a really lot of cool cards. I think it's a cool deck. But every time I've played it, it just gets, like, auto-cooked. And so, and also it gets really hurt by memory blockers, which aren't, like, super prevalent right now, but I kind of want to put this in tier 2 because, like, I respect the deck, but I just, from my experience, it just doesn't, I just don't think it's that crazy. So I'll put it right here. It could maybe come up here somewhere, but I think right here until I'm proven otherwise. Divas, is Divas tier 1? I don't know. My locals is so filled with Divas that it's kind of like influence, but I also think the deck is just good. Maybe precautionary. I just kind of like low tier 1, high tier 2 type situation. Yeah. That's Eosmon. Okay. More premium trash. I'm a fan. Diaboromon, bottom of trash. That's right. It's a year later. Primitive's back, and Diaboromon staying in the dumpster. Although once we get the alt win condition, that's going to completely change my mind. I think it's going to be one of the coolest decks of all time. But until then, I'm staying a tried and true Diaboromon hater. Rookie Rush low-key is actually really good right now. I don't... Putting it tier 2 has got to be incorrect, but, like, Rookie Rush, especially in BT15, since you got, like, the Muchomon, which you can pair with the Koromon, and you got the Yokomon, which gets things back. I think Rookie Rush is like a deck. It's like at least high tier 3, if not low tier 2. But like I'll admit I'm respecting Rookie Rush a little too much. It is a deck that can just be answered heavily. Like it just hard loses to like Divas and Death X and things like Shin Manzemon would be awful, but I think it's pretty good. I think it's just a deck where if you just pop off, you can just win on like turn 3 and they just don't have an answer. Especially when you play all the floodgates, you can just stop your opponent from playing. You're just like, oh, you can't gain memory, you can't reduce Digi-Evolution costs, and you can't play Digimon by effects. And so it's like, oh, what am I supposed to do now? I think that's really cool, and it's like the only deck that can really operate like that, and so I think it's decent. Amphimon is, sure, we'll put it here. I don't know what Amphimon's doing, to be honest. I might put it in, I don't know what it is, but I actually know what a lot of the cards do. I just don't know what it's doing in the form of, like, why are we playing this? Another Shin Manzemon, so we'll just put that there. Okay, this is another card where I've looked at it for, like, 5 minutes now, and I just went through Digimon Card Dev, and I literally can't figure out what card this is, so unfortunate. Mastemon just got new support announced, but until then, I don't know what it's doing. It's just an old deck that was good at one point, and now it's just waiting for that new round of support to come back. Setcon, I think, is just auto, like, tier 2 or higher in, like, any format. Maybe, like, around here. I think Setcon's just that deck where if you play into a match, it's kind of like Beelstar, where I put Beelstar, like, there's just decks that just can't handle the fact that they swing into security and lose their stack on the top check and have to restart, and then you're just recovering up. There's some decks like Red Hybrid, which will just, in like Black or Greymon, clear in that deck. No issues, but there are a lot of decks where it's going to be a problem. Pyildramon, it's not good right now, but it's about to be good. I can't even like pretend like it's good right now, but I'll put it above Machinedramon, I guess. It's somewhere around here. It's not trash. It's like low viable, but it's about to get good. Okay, this next one is the Kentaurismon, and I don't... Is this like its own deck? I don't know what this is. I'm not even like ordering this. I don't know why I did that. I don't know what this means as a deck. Same with Kazuchimon, and I'm pretty sure this is just a Diva card, which I already ranked. So that is all the decks that's on the list. But there are a couple other decks I can think of that like aren't on the list that I feel like I should mention. So we'll just use these ones down here as proxies. So Leviamon is a deck for sure. It's got a crazy board wipe. 7th Lightning is just on its own just a really good card, and then the ability to go for the Leviamon Lightning combo, clear everything, is really good. But I also don't think... I think it's got strong cards, but it's not like a really strong deck. Like, it has Leviamon, 7th Lightning are strong cards, but the surrounding cast I don't think is really too crazy. So Leviamon, Leviamon's like Examon range probably. I would be okay with like saying that I'm underestimating this right now, just because maybe I don't know as much about it as I should, and it's a little bit better. But I'd probably put Leviamon right here. Post ban list Apocalymon, I still think is like, this can be post ban list Apocalymon. I still think it's a deck. I've actually tested against post ban list Apocalymon a couple times. It is incredibly much weaker, way easier to out, and you kind of have to go for like a little bit more of that Omnimon Turbo type package, and that's something that it's way weaker. Like, it's not a tier 0 deck like it should be, but I still have played against it, and it's still a deck that can play really well. And then if you can just stick an Apocalymon late game, it can just kind of just end you the game off like deck out and stuff, and it's just an overall strong card. So I still think it's something that is viable. I might be overrating it here, but I'll put it next to Anubismon because these are both kind of decks where it's like post ban list. I think I need a little bit more testing for sure, but I have tested against post ban list Apocalymon quite a bit, and I do think that it is still definitely viable and something that if you just don't have the answer, you just kind of get clapped up. It's more so just kind of changing up the mid to low end, and then probably playing a little bit more Omni stuff. At least that's from what I've seen. There's probably other ways to build it for sure, but I do think that it's at least a semi-viable deck. And those were the two decks that when I was looking at, I was like, why aren't these on here? There's probably some other decks that are in the metagame that aren't on this list for some reason, and could be added onto the list. And so if you post those down below, I can let you know where I would think they would be. Let me fix this. But this is going to be the final tier list. This is just my thoughts of a washed up Digimon player who's been gone for a year and getting back into the game and what I think. And so this is the BT15 tier list. I'm going to be playing a bunch. I'm actually about to head to locals right now. And once I get a little bit more adept in maybe a month or so, we'll come back and I will give you a little bit more accurate of a tier list. But for now, that's going to be today's video. I'll catch you next time. Peace.